And we're live, I think. I think we're live. If you can hear me and if you can see me, drop a note in the chat for me if you don't mind. And then we'll take it from there. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We are ready. All right. Perfect. Thank you all for joining. Appreciate you guys very much. Figure for today, we just do a sort of open-ended Q&A on what's going on with Tesla. I do want to sort of share some thoughts about the different things that are going on in both the market and the different things that are going on with the news and whatnot, and whatever other questions you have for me, I'd love to cover it. Just a very, back and forth conversation with you all. I love engaging with the viewership and sort of answer any questions you have as well. So I'm excited to get started today. It might end up being like a weekly thing potentially. I'm not really sure how far we're going to take this, but I figured we open this up and start having a conversation and seeing what sort of things we can discover here together. Haha. Hello. Oh man, I'm gonna try to pronounce your name. Is that an L? Judo Man. I'm just gonna say Judo Man. Hello. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, so a couple things that have happened here in the last couple days that are interesting. The sort of the dynamic around Russia and Ukraine seems to have subsided in the last day or so. When I was looking at the stock, I was let me see if I can actually share. I think we ended up like 5% today, right? 5% up, I think it was. Let me pull this up. Oh, and by the way, I also have a standing setup now. I don't know if you guys have seen it before, but I kind of like this better. Now, I did go to the gym a little earlier, and my legs are kind of sore, so I don't know how this is going to work out, but we'll see. If I start collapsing, then you know what happened. My legs are jello. 922 up 5.33% today. A little down after market, but that was a big jump from where we opened today. I think we opened around 8. Yeah, I think yesterday's close was 875 or something like that. And looking at the 1-year chart, I have this trend line here. I'm definitely not a financial analyst or anything like that. More like a hobby analyst more than anything when it comes to the stock market. But there seems to have been this trend line from back in March of 2020 that the stock is riding on top of. And anytime it reaches a low, it seems to bounce back. So anytime it kind of has a slump, it seems to hit this level here, this line, and it goes up. I have no idea what that means, but it seems to do that. It seems to be a recurring pattern. And we hit that level a couple times in the last couple weeks. We did breach it on the 28th of January, but we sort of jumped above it and we closed above it. And then again, we almost hit it the last couple of days. So Friday and what's today? Tuesday, Friday, and Monday. So interesting behavior. It seems like anytime it gets close to that level, it just sort of goes back. And it did breach on the 28th of January, but it closed above it on that same day. So pretty cool behavior. And yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. The Russia-Ukraine tensions easing up, I think, will help the stock. Really, the stock market doesn't like, uncertainty. So it's exciting to see what the potential implications are. I also have sort of a trend line against the two highs that we reached recently. So we had an all-time high back in, November 4th, and then another peak in January 3rd. It wasn't as high as the all-time high. So it'd be curious to see if it breaches this wedge pattern that's starting to develop here, this long-term wedge pattern. So we'll see. We'll take it from there. All right, looks like we got some questions here. Ron, thank you very much for the super chat here. What is the one thing that could derail Tesla? I think derailing Tesla is difficult. I think that's going to take a lot of effort. I think that if I'm thinking about the biggest sort of risks to Tesla, and I was thinking about making a video recently or soon on what I think the biggest risk factors are for Tesla, I think Elon dying is definitely one. I think a lot of, I think people dying using full self-driving is also a potential risk. Someone's going to die on full self-driving at some point in the future. It's inevitable. But if it appears to be a recurring theme that is sort of dangerous, then that could be a big factor. A mass exodus out of the company for whatever reason could be another factor. But I just don't see that happening under any circumstance. Short of Elon dying and the new leader is a complete whack job. I don't know. But those are the two big things. I think Elon dying short term is one. And then another one would be the other thing I mentioned. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Soren, for your super chat. I really appreciate that. Haha. We need more digs, bro. Hey, HF, how you doing? Hello from Seattle. Hello from Austin, Texas. Hello. Hey, T, how's it going? Thank you, Aaron. I'm looking forward to this too. Love talking to you guys. Blessings from, I'm guessing that's Denmark. DE, please excuse me if it's not. Hello. Thank you, T. Yeah, this is a new setup that I put together, and I like it. I like the stand up. You also can't see. Oh man, I wonder if I turn this around. Is this gonna screw me up? All right, we're gonna try this, guys. We're gonna try this. Let's see. We're gonna get interactive here. Let's see. I spent like 2 hours putting this up earlier today, and yeah, it's for sound deadening, and it's blue and white because I went to Penn State, and of course you got to represent the colors. But yeah, let's see if I can get it back to where it was. I think it was right there. Maybe a little bit this way. I use that guide, the blue hexagon and the guitar are my guides to center this thing. Okay, I think we're back. Yeah, that was fun putting that up. It was a good time. Thank you guys for the props on that. I did on the last one the last video I put together. Seems like folks are a fan of the new setup, so I do appreciate it. I got my guitars up on the wall. I think tonight, or when we end the video, I might do some guitar for you guys. Potentially, we'll see. We'll see if I feel confident or not. If I have a little bit of stage fright, I won't. We'll see how it goes. Fazal, if you collapse, stock will drop. If that happens, run for the hills because there are things in the universe that shouldn't be correlated. Another feedback too. Let me know if the text is big enough for you guys to see the super chats or the chats really, and both the super chats, I guess. If they're not, I'll make them bigger. So give me some feedback on that. In an odd coincidence, Putin tried to claim genocide in the area near where they were doing training, and some pretty large DDoS attacks were hitting Ukraine earlier. Yeah, I don't really follow the politics stuff too much, like the world's politics, because it seems like it's all like drama. It's all posturing, a lot of it. There are obviously some very, like the stuff that happened in Yemen, the stuff that's happening in Syria and other places are like humanitarian crises that are in Afghanistan, of course. But I don't follow it too much because just so much of it is posturing, and the way the media usually covers it seems not very clear. So, yeah, those guys are always up to weird stuff. No pain, no gain. It's so true. And the thing is, it wasn't even leg day, man. I was like walking on a freaking elliptical. Not walking, I was running. But running on an elliptical and then standing up for another probably hour and a half is going to be interesting. And I think my wife wants to go on a walk after I'm done. So we'll see. It's going to be fun. The Stevenson indicator, that line. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. I think that's what it is. HF, I was in a clubhouse room with Omar and some others, and the prevailing consensus was the Optimus bot would be built in a way as needed, i.e. no legs, possibly wheels for in a warehouse, for example. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that because I'm thinking about it from a standpoint of like simplicity of manufacturing. It would be, you would have to order the materials and the parts to do multiple variations of the bot. If that were the case, if you're trying to specialize in manufacturing. And what Tesla has shown is that they love to simplify manufacturing, right? So if you compare Model 3, Model Y, Model S, and all the other cars they sell, they are simplified over time, right? Where at the beginning of the company, Tesla was offering a ton of different options. Now it's like you have like 3 options, I think bot is going to be one configuration, take it or leave it. I'm not sure I agree with that because it does go against the ethos of like simplify everything. I don't know. I could be wrong, but we'll see. All right, Judo, go get that workout. Yeah, that bounce back was definitely good to see. Hello from Melbourne. Hello, Australia. I interviewed Stephen Mark Ryan recently. Super awesome guy. It was so cool to get to sit down with him for 2 hours and chat with him. And really good guy, really cool guy. When he comes down to Austin, I told him we're going to get a beer and I'm going to make him a brisket. So I'm excited for that. But if you guys haven't checked that out yet, it's on my channel. I spoke with Stephen Mark Ryan for 2 hours, or an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes roughly. Yeah, that was a great conversation. Can you play something with those guitars? Yes, I'll play something at the end of the stream, and you guys let me know if you like it. What should be terrible? Good morning from Tokyo. All right, from the other side of the world. Hello from Australia. For FSD, NHTSA, and mainstream media, have you seen the recent report on CNBC? CNBS, yeah, that's Stephen Mark likes to call him that. I haven't yet. I did see that Dave Lee just posted a reaction to it. So I think after the live stream, I'm going to go back and check that out at some point. I generally don't watch anything from CNBC, to be honest. Maybe some like overarching news reports or big news that come out. But yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I'll check it out at some point. Any risk of China taking over factories in China in the future? I don't know. That was a question that I asked my guests previously, and I mean, it's odd. It's the relationship that China and Tesla have is unique, right? I think it's the first wholly owned American company in China where, Tesla owns the factory, I guess, and that's very unusual. But the cool thing about Tesla is that it seems to be more of a global company than a nationalistic company. So it's based in the US, but their mission is pretty, global. It's move the world forward towards sustainable transport and energy, right? So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to tell. The political climate in China is pretty unique, and that's definitely a risk. But the Chinese also like advancements, and I think they respect Elon, and they respect the manufacturing, and they respect the science behind the company. So, there may be a risk of that in the future, but I don't think so. Definitely not near term. Definitely not in the next couple of years. I highly, put it this way: as long as Elon's at the company, I don't think anything's going to happen out of that. Because I think Elon he's an underrated negotiator, and a lot of people don't talk about that. Is that he's so good at negotiating these deals, and he has a lot of leverage now, as the company is making batteries. And if China wants to hit its goals of the EVs they want to make, it would be against their their mission to try to kneecap a company like Tesla, right? So I don't know. I don't think Elon would stand for China trying to take over. I think he would just shut him down, to be completely honest, if that were ever to happen. But who knows? We'll see. Just complete guesses. I have no idea. It's a pretty big question, but as long as Elon's there, I don't see it happening. I don't think. Looks great. Audio sounds pretty good too. Thank you. Yeah, I've been messing with the mic. I've turned out the gain. I've turned down the gain. I put some that noise canceling stuff on the wall there. So yeah, I'm curious to see how that's going to help with the volume. And I have very little processing right now on the mic as well. So let me know how that sounds as well. But if you guys are happy with it, I'm happy with it. Do you think the Fed minutes will affect the stock tomorrow? Oh yeah, they always affect the stock. Regardless if it's good news or bad news, it does seem like the market is very keen on what the Federal Reserve is going to do. And regardless if it's positive or negative, I think the market is going to react to it. Now, I don't know if it's going to be positive or negative, how they're going to be talking. It seems like there's been like sort of this gyration of like hawkishness and dovishness between the different members on the board. And Jerome Powell has been very sort of wishy-washy about exactly how they're going to execute against the interest rate increase. And so we're going to see, I think as we got more clarity towards March, once they actually start hiking up the rate, I think the markets, the volatility should come down quite a bit after that happens. But it also depends what if they do a rate that the market expects, the volatility should go down. But if they do a rate hike, like say half a point or 3/4 of a point, if it's insane, in an insane situation, then that could affect the markets quite a bit. I actually did an interview with Matt Smith, who is from Good Soil Management, and he's Emmett Pepper's counterpart over there, and he had some great insight into what he thinks the Fed's going to do. He doesn't think it's going to go up by more than a 1.25 total, and he thinks they'll probably do it in probably quarter point increments. But even if they do a half point increment, he doesn't think it'll go over 1.26 or 1.25. Sorry. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Welcome, Sain. I'm glad you're here. It looks like the JWST. I'm not sure what that is. Distortion covers mistakes. If that's for the guitar, yes, it does. That's why I always play with distortion, man. Playing clean is so hard. You got to be so like precise with your fingers. And I can play clean stuff. My distortion stuff sounds better because it does hide the mistakes much better. How does a Tesla ensure employees stay updated on status of issues, projects without too many meetings and ensure that people aren't duplicating work? Great question. Really good question. The lines of communication are very open between teams. So we're always, they were always encouraged to always communicate with your teams as quickly as possible using either email or Teams, and if you can, in person. I know the remote work with COVID changed a lot of that dynamic, but you're always encouraged and almost, I don't want to say forced, but like you almost have no other choice but to get in front of someone's face and try to get stuff done and communicate on what you're working on, right? The duplication of work does happen from what I saw quite a bit, to be completely honest, but that's by design because they've essentially enabled the entire staff to work on problems and projects in the way they think it should be best worked on, right? So when that happens, you may have 2 teams or 3 different people working on the same thing, but what you maximize is the right thing getting done, right? So duplication of work in a company where you don't have a lot of talent or the talent that Tesla has is wasteful. But sometimes in a company like Tesla, especially if you're trying to build something from scratch, duplication of work is not necessarily a bad thing because you're essentially iterating through different problems, right? So it's a very interesting question. I personally think duplication of work in a fast-moving environment, if anything, is a net positive because you are allowing the best talent to try to work something out. And then as far as meetings go, you just get in front of someone's face. And if you try to put a meeting on the calendar in Tesla, most people don't even accept it because meetings are a waste of time most of the time. So, or they accept it and never show up, right? So you're better off just doing like a phone call or getting someone's face or a text or a Teams or an email. Great question. Okay, looks like we can read the chats. Very good. Thank you. Do you have original material or do you mainly play covers? I used to have some original material for sure back in the day. And yeah, I think I remember some of the riffs. I was in a band back in high school and parts of college. And it was so fun. It was so fun. And we had some originals that we played. Maybe one of these days I'll release them so you guys can sort of laugh at it. But no, nowadays I just play covers. I just play a lot of covers. I love Metallica. I love Opeth. I love Gojira. A lot of different bands as well, metal bands and classic rock like Led Zeppelin. There's, Iron Maiden, Ozzy Osbourne. All those guys have great riffs. I just like good riffs, man. If it's a good riff, I'll play it. I'll learn it. A recent one that I learned that's, it took a few minutes for me to learn, but Barracuda by Heart is so badass, dude. Such a badass riff. I think it's underrated. Maybe I'll play that today. Do you still have some friends at Tesla? If so, are you aware of anything they're working on that hasn't yet been announced? Obviously not asking for you to share what it is, if so. I'm not going to answer that question. I don't know what you're talking about. Whoa, the new setup. Oh, thank you, Cindy. Thank you. Yeah, I do enjoy it. I do enjoy the setup. I just returned from Austin. I love it. I got a house there. Yeah, it's Austin's great. I love Austin so much. Moving in a year, great. Yeah, it's Austin's so fast growing, and what's really cool about Austin too is that even the surrounding areas are very, like Liberty Hill, Georgetown, Cedar Park, Leander, Round Rock, all these, Buda, Kyle on the south. They're not really Austin, but they still get the benefit of being in that area, from real estate prices going up if you own a house, but also the proximity to the city is not too bad. We live in the outskirts of Austin. It's like 40 minutes to downtown in a car, and that's not bad. And when you have a Tesla that drives itself with full self-driving, doesn't drive itself, but with full self-driving, it makes it a little bit easier, so it's great. Hello from Lake Tahoe. I hear that place is beautiful. I haven't visited yet, and I want to go so bad. Hello, Pete. Elon says he will be doing a podcast with Rob, Davely, and others. Yes, I saw that. I'm so happy for them. I'm so happy. They deserve, those guys. Rob has been doing this for so long, and he's been fighting the FUD for so long. He's been a Tesla employee, an employee for a long time, and he hasn't been paid for the company. And, and he's out there killing it. And he's been out there just really correcting all the stuff that the media was saying incorrectly. And Dave Lee has been, a huge supporter of Tesla and investors since early on. And those two are badass, man. I respect those two guys so much. I really do. And yeah, I if they get the interview, it looks like they're going to get it, which is incredible. And I did see that Elon did mention something about bringing other people in, but we'll see. Who do you think will be the best mixer individuals? I'd love to see you interview him. Well, thank you. That would be a complete honor, for sure, if I ever get a chance to interview Elon. And I think when I'm thinking about manifesting long, down the line, what do I want this channel to become? Having the opportunity to interview Elon's obviously up there, but yeah, I think those two are great. They're great choices. If there are other folks out there in the YouTube community that want to interview him as well. So folks I know Gally and Omar and others have already interviewed him. So maybe he's looking for new folks to ask him questions would be great. Someone like an SMR, I think would be a nice little mix of personalities in there would be cool. If for some reason I'm in there, obviously I would love that. But, Dave and Rob, I think would be great. They get Tesla. I think they would ask really good questions, and they deserve it. They're awesome. I really hope it happens soon, because, man, the amount of insight we would gain from that conversation. They will ask questions that have never been asked before, and that's what's most exciting about that. Because I know the company so well, I will watch it after your stream. Live Farsi goes, well, thank you. I'm assuming you're talking about the Dave CNBC thing. Do you sell covered calls on your Tesla positions? I do not. I used to mess with options. I got burned a few years ago and then left a really bad taste in my mouth, and I haven't touched an option since. Nope. Will Tesla build a factory in England? I don't know. I think the geography of that, who knows? Maybe, right? I'd be curious to see. It might make sense, because then you avoid putting stuff on a ship, and just crank everything out of the mainland. Yeah, who knows? Do you know anyone in Austin with a solar roof? I do not. But I do see a lot of people with solar. So I think Tesla's going to do really well here. Sandy Monroe talks about the 50% EV ICE crossover point for sales being 2028. What's your thoughts on EV adoption? I think that's right. Sandy knows the industry way better than I do, but ever since I really started thinking about Tesla, I think how they catalyze the market is super impressive. And the biggest question is, how will other other manufacturers, period, the OEMs, how will they ramp up their production when Tesla potentially will have a humongous percentage of the battery supply chain under them? Where are they going to source the materials from? Where are they going to source? If Tesla's going to be able to basically scoop up every single bit of materials, then are there going to be enough suppliers to support everyone else, right? I don't know. That's the big question. Yeah, so I agree. I agree with Sandy. I think 2028 could be, but for new car sales, but the total number of cars sold is probably going to be much lower, right? If that were to happen. So I think right now it's about 100 million or 90 million globally. The number might be 70 million in 2028, and then half of that could be EV. So that's what 45 million EVs. Man, that's a lot of EVs, right? I don't know. But if Monroe thinks it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I trust the guy. Have you looked into securities-backed line of credit as a way to borrowing against Tesla shares without selling, which keeps you investing long-term? That's something to look into. I thought about it. And that's obviously, not working and, being on my own financially and everything like that. If we ever needed some sort of cash infusion, I thought about it, but I am really trying to stay away from debt as much as possible. Just out of the principle. I don't know. Something I'll look into. I mean, if it's an obvious situation where Tesla stays hammered and I know for a fact it's incredibly undervalued, then I might, if the need for that is there, but who knows? It's worth exploring. I mean, it really depends on your risk profile, right? If it's something that you're comfortable doing, then you should definitely look into it. And I encourage those to at least look into it, right? The more options you have, the better. What do you think about the Starship event last week? I thought it was kind of, I thought it was cool. Not a lot of new information. And honestly, I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched parts of it. But yeah, it seemed kind of rehashed a little bit. But the most exciting thing, I think, for Tesla, for SpaceX is going to be launching the thing, hopefully next month, and getting it up into space. I think that's going to trump every presentation ever. Just put that sucker into space and let's see that sucker fly. I'm happy with it. I'm assuming the sound. You want to make the studio soundproof? You said that on Twitter, correct? Yeah, not necessarily soundproof. I'm definitely looking to remove as much reverb as humanly possible. I find that when I'm editing my videos and I'm trying to get the sound to sound a certain way, sometimes I struggle with getting the reverb down, even with the de-reverb plugins that Premiere Pro has, and it just deadens the sound. So I'm trying to just kill the reverb as much as possible so that voice can be as natural and as clean as possible, so that when I do it in post, it's great. The market overreacts to everything here lately. Yeah, it does. It's been very kind of psychotic. But folks know something. They very often know how to play that volatility, And that's how a lot of people make money is playing that volatility. If you play chess games, how will you position Tesla? Would you consider Tesla as queen on car market, or is it still too far from becoming a leader? Ooh. So I play chess, and I'm not very good. On chess.com, I was a 950 or something. So I'm at my highest, so I'm not good at all. I know how to, I beat people when they're like, you want to play chess? Sure. Yeah. And if somebody's a beginner, I smoke them, but I'm definitely not. I can't see the board past probably like 5 moves, I think, or 6 moves is probably my max. Then it kind of gets muddy after that. But yeah, man, that's a great question. I think Tesla. I think if you take into account the future potential of Tesla, it's by far the queen, because it's the best positioned for the next 10 years. Right? Its entire supply chain is built for the next decade, right? Whereas every other automaker has to completely revamp their supply chain. So they have to go from sourcing parts for ICE cars to electric cars, right? And all the assets they have and all the stuff they paid for in the factories, they're going to have to rework to work for electric, right? And a lot of these companies have a ton of debt that they have to deal with. And then as they switch over to the electric cars that they'll make will probably be made at a loss, right? And it will cannibalize their existing market of ICE cars, which are profitable. And so you have less profitable car sales and more unprofitable EV sales. Doesn't seem like a good recipe. It seems like something's going to break. So I would say Tesla's the queen. I would. Especially with how they are set up for the next 10 years. I don't think any other company comes remotely close. And Oh man, I don't want to. I should say it. I don't want to say. I would put like Ford and GM, especially GM. I think GM is like a pawn. Although pawns can be very powerful. They can be very powerful. Beautiful day here in Austin. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I was outside. I went to the gym, man. It's like the wind was blowing and freaking the sun's out. I love this time of year because it starts getting like a little bit warmer. So I love that. Your sound deadening looks like the JWST. Yeah, sorry, I don't know what that acronym is. I apologize. James Webb Space Telescope. Thank you. Oh, like the mirror thing, right? Okay, got it. Thank you. Can you talk about an improvement initiative that you led at Tesla that you're proud of? Yeah, for sure. I mean, the one, I can't say too much detail, but the really big one that I really enjoyed was in distribution. There was and I covered this in one of my videos, but I'm obviously more than happy to talk about it. There was a thing that was released, like a process that was very manual, that was designed to improve quality. So we were having issues. We had a higher rate of failure when it came to like shipping parts that were damaged or misshipped or whatever. And there was a brute force process that was released to say, I don't care, go in there and just start doing this process. And the process was extremely manual and it was really painful. And it relied a lot on humans to do the checking, okay, of quality. So you essentially moved from not having quality checks, but kind of being loose to like putting the entire quality responsibility on a human being. And what ends up happening with that is that humans can fail, right? So when you're putting in a process that's for quality, that's designed to be 100% perfect, and you give it to humans to do, and essentially every person at that building was responsible for executing against that quality, it's never going to get 100%. You might get better, but it'll never get to 100%. But what ended up happening is to try and put those folks into those positions for the quality. On the flip side, you had an issue with our productivity came down tremendously. So we were shipping at 100%. At 100% with like say 2% failure rate, then we went to like 70 or 65% throughput, and we were like at 1% quality or 1.5% quality. It's like, and I would make the argument that it was dubious because they were kind of cherry picking some of the data, but that's for another day. So you were getting dubious quality improvements for a massive decrease in throughput, okay? And so what ends up happening when you have a massive decrease in throughput, you essentially have a bunch of orders that end up being backlogged because your distribution is designed, like your throughput's designed at 100% to get you to get all the orders out within a week or within a day, right? So if you go at 65%, you start incurring a backlog where folks' orders don't get fulfilled on time, right? And so what I helped make was a process that automated the entire quality aspect of that. So we were no longer relying on humans on doing a very manual process. I built a tool and a dashboard and a couple other tools as well where it would automatically flag systematically when something went wrong from a quality perspective. And then we had like 2 people that were tasked with just going to that exception, fixing it like within like 5-10 minutes and then getting it out the door. And that was built from scratch because the way Tesla works is that a lot of things are built from scratch. We don't really rely on third-party folks. And not only did the quality improve to below, like we actually started hitting the accuracy metrics we were looking for, throughput increased. So it went from 100% to like 110%, right? So we got like a double benefit. That was awesome. I'm very, very proud of that. And what that really taught me is like, even in the face of chaos and, people panicking about, oh my God, we're at, 65% throughput, blah, blah, blah. What are we going to do? Just keep brute forcing this thing. I was like, guys, like, just calm down. Like, there's a way to do this systematically. We just got to sit down and design it, right? Like, it's fine. We got this. Yeah, that was awesome. That was freaking awesome. That was like, I didn't sleep for like 3 days. Yeah, it was great. It was great. Thank you for that question. I love thinking about my my time at Tesla. It's freaking great. Sound is great. Love that you put the question on the screen. Thank you. Thoughts on CMBS video on FSD? Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, and I haven't watched Dave's reaction either. So at some point today, I'll check it out. Will the Cybertruck have 48-volt systems? No idea. No idea. Tesla does like to develop new stuff though with their vehicles, so who knows? But I have no idea. Just based on your music, I think would get along swell. Yeah, right. I wish more people liked metal. I feel like metal's still kind of like underground in a lot of ways. Yeah. Whoa, serious delay between video and chat. Meaning like, I'm going down the list. I don't know if that's what you mean, but yeah, I'm just going down the list and a lot of questions. I want to make sure I get to everybody. How do you deal with getting older and feeling like not having achieved enough? Whoa, that's a very deep question. Jeez. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a question only for you to answer, to be completely honest. I think if somebody were to feel like that, maybe they feel like that because they have regrets about what they didn't do in the past. You know, maybe they had opportunities to chase things, or maybe they were afraid to get outside the comfort zone. The one thing I always tell people is like, you know, I mentored a lot of people at Tesla. And anytime, and what's been really cool, by the way, is like on LinkedIn, I have folks that work at Tesla that are reaching out to me for some advice on certain things, which is like awesome. But I always tell people like, feel comfortable feeling uncomfortable. You know, like if you're in a situation where you're getting outside your comfort zone, it means you're learning. And if you're comfortable with those situations, you'll eventually get to a point where you're not afraid to really do anything. You know, so yeah, I think there's a lot of good things that can come from that, and perhaps that can help those that feel that way when they're getting older and they feel like they haven't achieved enough. Maybe you're not taking enough risks, right? And I'm not saying you should go out there and just freaking try everything, but just think about, you know, if you're struggling with that, am I taking enough risks to pursue my passions? Am I taking enough risks to fulfill my needs as a human on performing things, right? I hope that helps. What do you make of Chuck Cook's view that more forwardly placed side cams are needed in front of the B-pillar side cam for visibility from the left at junctions with obstructions? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think those cameras can see a lot already. And if they sort of like, you know, they mesh all the cameras together, they should be able to get a pretty good view around the car. Yeah. We'll see. I don't buy it. I think Tesla's pretty forward looking, and they would have already like that. That would be, I don't know. Maybe, I'm not an expert in this stuff. Who knows? But yeah, we'll see. We'll see on that. But I think they should have enough. I think they should have enough. You know, humans drive around, and we have so many freaking blind spots already. Like the A pillar, some of the A pillars that cars have is like the size of my torso. You can't see nothing, you know? So it's like, yeah, I think the car creeping and sort of positioning itself so that I can make a full picture, I think already gets it there, but who knows? Maybe they'll think to put something in the A pillar or something. Or a forward facing B pillar cam. Yeah. Tahoe is awesome. Yeah. I've heard that from so many people. I got to go check it out sometime. Austin does not equal Texas. Very true. Very true. I live 40 minutes north of Austin, and boy, is it different. And it's neither is good or bad. Like honestly, like I love the cultural like differences. You know, I'm not a right guy or a left guy, or I like to find myself as a very like I'm just a dude. I'm just a human being who likes other human beings, right? So I don't really care what your politics are, but yeah, it is very different. Austin is definitely more city vibe for sure, like a New York, California, San Francisco, LA, Chicago, like more liberal, right? And Texas is much more conservative. You know, they freaking love their guns, they love their rodeos, they love their freedom, their individuality, and I think both things have beautiful things about them, and that's why I love this region so much. A lot of variety. South Africa, hello. I love South Africa. We went there, my wife and I went there, and great place. They still have some challenges for sure, but beautiful people. And Awesome food. So fresh, delicious, and really good wine. Really good wine. Follow-up question: how is knowledge documented, captured at Tesla to get it out of domain experts' heads? Are many SOPs used? Oh yeah, no, we definitely try to document everything while we were there. A lot of SharePoint stuff, knowledge transfer, a lot of mentoring. But when it comes to like actual details, yeah, all that stuff's documented, and you can reference stuff pretty quickly, usually. How does Tesla prevent politics between teams when there's duplication of work? Bill Gates had the policy of let 1,000 flowers bloom and the strongest one will survive. Yeah, so I think that's a great question. It ultimately comes to people not having an ego, and Tesla from the very beginning trains you to like leave your ego at the door. Like, and of course, sometimes that doesn't work, but when you're in a group setting, it's all data. It's all data, and it's like and sometimes what happens if like there's a conflicting, like say that you have 2 or 3 things that you can't land on which one is right, you try them, run a small scale trial and see what the numbers are, right? The numbers are good. If do it for a week, and if the one solution has the best numbers, go with that one. And generally what I found is people at Tesla didn't really have an ego. Generally, sometimes there were, but then those people, they get in those settings and they get called out by their peers. Like, what the hell is going on here? Why can't you just leave your ego at the door? Let's get this stuff done, right? And having that overarching mission of like, yo, Tesla, we just got to go as hard as we can because we got to change the world as quickly as humanly possible, usually is a good catalyst to have people check their egos at the door. It's not just, people, it's not a pissing match here. We're trying to get stuff done. So perhaps at Microsoft, maybe the overarching theme of the company is not as like grandiose as Tesla. And maybe that's why it created the politics. But usually that I found that the problems just fix themselves, because if you have the right data and if you test it and people are willing to test anyone's solution, and if it comes out as the winner, then it is what it is. And honestly, like, that's the best way to run a business, in my opinion. But you need the right people, you need the right mission to do that, and that's really hard to do. How far do you live from the Tesla factory? Thought of that on your FSC test drive video a few days ago. Yeah, I'm about 45 minutes away. Let me see. Let me do a quick Google Maps without you seeing where I live, because that would be odd. Yeah, it's about 45 minutes. It's like probably like closer to 55 with traffic, but yeah. Yeah, Steven would be great. Dave Lee cuts his guest off in the middle of a response. I tweeted him today and asked him not to cut Elon off. I hope he doesn't take it the wrong way. I don't know. I think Dave generally does a very good job of letting people talk. Remember when he interviewed me? I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I was actually on his channel. He interviewed me, and it was a great conversation. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I definitely respect your opinion, but I don't know if I agree with that. I know sometimes he gets excited. He definitely gets excited, and maybe he wants to dig into something a little bit deeper, but yeah, I'm pretty sure Dave would not. Yeah, I don't think anybody. I think a lot of I think one of the underrated things about what's going to happen is that even though Dave and Rob are excellent at what they do, there's going to be some form of like a little bit of stage fright for the first 15, 20 minutes. It's just going to be normal, and they'll get used to it. Just got here, but I love the prospects of a Beijing factory. Yeah, that would be great. I know they were talking about some of that stuff recently, that I think they're opening a second gigafactory potentially. That would be great. I mean, that more production, Hi from South Africa. Hello. Duma and limiting factor, they should be invited instead of Omar and Hyperchange. Yeah, they're great too. They're both experts, right? And that's what's great about them. I think all 4 of those guys have their own qualities, but Duma and I forget the guy's name from the limiting factor, but they're great. Who would win in a fight? You or Steven Mark Ryan? I'm not in very good shape, so I'm just going to give it to Steven. I don't know how tall he is. How tall is Steven? Do you guys know? I'll give it to him. Dude, like, my legs hurt from doing the elliptical for like 20 minutes. Come on. I wouldn't give myself a lot of a chance. My brain's a lot stronger than my body. Let's just put it that way. What materials did you handle in PA? Didn't know Tesla had a plant there. Yeah, it's a warehouse, and they do parts for cars. So like, shocks or bumpers or whatever. Factory burning down or getting destroyed would derail Tesla. Another thing would be the lack of supplies and other disasters. War should be good as Tesla would produce war machines, Cybertruck and Optimus. Yeah, even under factories destroying, Tesla's ability to like build stuff is insane. So I don't even know if a natural disaster would necessarily derail them. Excuse me. How does playing the guitar music help you in various aspects of life? Yeah, that's a great question. It relaxes me a lot. The craziest thing about me is like I love playing metal music, and metal music like really chills me out. Which is weird, right? Because you think like the super aggressive, like in your face stuff usually puts anxiety into people. Nope. It relaxes the hell out of me. And it's very inspirational. Like sometimes I just really enjoy sitting down and playing guitar, you know? It's great. It puts me in a nice mindset. Did we already talk about the 4680 rollout and your perspective on how they'll roll them out in cars? No, but I did see that. Looks like they're shipping some Model Ys out of Giga, Texas. And the assumption is that those are 4680 cars. So, yeah, I think that's great. The faster they can do that, the better, you know? I'm waiting for Berlin to do the same, man. Berlin's been around for way longer than Texas, and it's like, what the hell? The bureaucracy there is crazy. Do you think Teslas are selling because they are Teslas and not EVs? Yeah, I think it's both. I think there's a subset of customers that are buying EVs because they know gas cars are going to be obsolete and they don't want to be stuck with a thing that's going to depreciate to almost zero in the next 5-10 years. And then the other one is, you know, they trust Tesla to be the best EV maker because they have the supercharger network and they've been doing it longer. And especially here in America, people really respect that. People respect when people have been doing something for a while. It doesn't matter if it's Ford, GM, or whoever. So, yeah, that's a great question. I think it's both. Do you know how to solve a Rubik's Cube? I do. I'm out of practice. My fastest was like 49 seconds. I have to practice. Maybe for the next live stream, I'll practice some and then I'll do I'll solve the Rubik's Cube live. Hello again from South Africa. Oh, we got a lot of South Africans here today. You've talked a fair bit about wanting to know yourself better. Yes. Have you disconnected enough from your old job to make progress on that goal? Wow, great question. Great questions, guys, by the way. Like this is I love how active this chat is, and your questions are great. And I love going down the list and sort of making sure I give everybody their as much attention as possible, because I really appreciate everyone's support here, and that, you know, you guys have been following me, and yeah, I'm just really appreciative. So I want to make sure I give you the time from my perspective, right? You've talked a fair bit about wanting to know yourself. Yeah, have you disconnected enough from your old job to make progress on that goal? I think, man, I definitely have made progress for sure. What's been really interesting is, so, you know, I stopped working there in September, October, November, December, January, February, 5 months since I left. And I've probably made more progress personally, like as knowing myself in the last 5 months than probably in the last like 13 years, you know, of my life. Because the last 13 years, I've been just working my ass off as hard as I could. You know, went from a freaking intern to a director of BI and pricing at my previous company before Tesla. Reported to the CFO, the CEO, the COO, all these executives, got to sit in like strategy meetings for the whole company. Got to drive some strategy sessions for the company. I was a director of pricing, so I set the entire pricing strategy for the company. Then we opened up a business, an escape room, my wife and I, and then I joined Tesla at the same time. So it's like my life has been a blur, and these last 5 months have been so crucial in like just sitting down and like thinking about all the things I've accomplished, you know? Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I've learned so far is that I tend to become very obsessed with things that I like, which I guess is normal, but like obsessed to the point where I never want to take a break. So I think it's kind of an obsessive personality in a way. And that's not a good thing, because it does take away from other really cool things that happen in life. I've really loved spending more time with my wife. That has been absolutely amazing. And she's been incredibly supportive. And yeah, it's just really cool to just discover yourself as a person, and yeah, it's such a good question. And I'm definitely happy with the progress I've made. And I'm very much looking forward to the progress I'm making. And I am writing a book, and I'm hoping it should be out sometime this year. But a lot of I think the topics of the book are going to be around that question. Like, how much have I learned about myself, and what are the lessons that I've learned, and are there things that I can share where people can take it or leave it, but like this is sort of what has worked for me from like a career perspective and like a self-discovery perspective. I don't know. I still haven't decided what the hell the book's going to be about, but I have 90 pages down, so I don't know. We'll see. Great question. Thank you, Jeff. What are your thoughts about BYD? Will you ever do a deep dive comparison with Tesla, as they are one of the few vertically integrated EV manufacturers? Yeah, I got that question before. I don't know enough about BYD, to be honest. I have heard that they're very vertically integrated, but yeah, maybe at some point I'll figure out. I mean, ideally, what I like to do is like find, it's like I'll find some ways to like get a BYD employee or something to really get good insight. I don't know. I don't want to do just like a shallow comparison, but we'll see. We'll see. Tom, thank you very much for the super chat, man. Just joined the stream. Any chance we can get you to do the interview with Allison Morrow? Yeah, I saw the email. Let me think about it. I'll get back to you, but I really appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you very much. Very, very kind. I really appreciate that. It looks like the amp behind you is on, so we want to hear some killer riffs at the end. Yes, I will be playing riffs. I was thinking about having stage fright before, but I think I'm getting much more comfortable, so maybe I'll do some live stuff for you guys. I'll just play stuff that I know. Maybe I'll take a couple of requests. I may have to learn a couple of riffs on the fly, but that's okay. Love you, Farts Hard. Oh, thank you. For those that don't know, Farts Hard is a nickname my wife has for me. And McKay is not my wife, but I did mention the nickname in the previous video, so sometimes that gets dropped, and that's okay, because I do fart hard sometimes. Who doesn't? Beans, bro, black beans. Sometimes, man. You mentioned trying out expanding the scope of the channel to include travel. Yes, that's definitely coming. My wife and I have some travels planned for this year. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe a 5th. At least 4 trips coming up. Some in the US, some international. And yeah, we'll look forward to releasing those, put those together. And if you guys want to watch it, great. If not, that's fine too. Reading between the lines of the SpaceX update, I see Elon sending Tesla bots to Mars to build a city. Yeah, that seems pretty obvious, right? Because if they do that, then the ideal thing there is that they'll show up and then you'll have, all these things built out for the humans, right? So if the city can build that stuff, then great. Or if the bot can build a city, that's great, Makes a lot of sense. Did that thought enter your mind, or do you see that happening? Yeah, for sure. That's to the previous question for those that missed that. Yeah, I do see that happening. I think that's very obvious, and it should be a great thing. Very smart. It's a very smart use of the bot. Enjoying your channel here in London. Thank you, Keith. Thank you for, it's got to be late there, right? So probably 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Thank you. Thank you, Keith. Why Tesla stock doesn't have dividends? I think only about 20% of Tesla investors are profitable. Yeah, I'm not really sure about the 20% number. The reason why they don't have dividends, I think, in my opinion, is because the cash that they get, they're going to use much more. They're going to be able to use that much better for growing out the company than paying stockholders back. Usually companies do dividends when they don't know what to do with the cash. Boy, does Tesla have plans for the cash, right? I mean, freaking the bot itself is going to be a monumental thing that they're going to build out on a different gigafactory. So once Tesla finds that they don't have any other use for the cash, they'll probably start doing dividends, but who knows? Who knows when that's going to happen? Maybe in 10 years. Does Tesla like to promote from within? Yeah, they promote from within all the time. Constantly. I personally helped hire, my God, I don't even know what the number is, but more than 50 folks internally. Quite a bit. Metallica, hell yeah. Love Metallica. Ciao from Italy. Ever been there? No, but my wife and I want to go there really bad. Really, really bad. Shoot, I'm late. It's okay, Buck. Thank you, Buck. Buck's been following the channel for a while. So have other folks here as well. If you see their little badge to the right of their name, they've been with us for a while. So really appreciate you guys very much. And they've joined the channel as well, which is like super awesome. Thank you. Did you already answer which guitar is missing from the wall hanger? No, I haven't. I haven't decided yet. And I kind of regret putting it up because I was planning on getting a third guitar, but now I just have an empty guitar hanger, on my wall. So, I don't know. I was thinking maybe a bass guitar. I used to play bass guitar. That's how I started. And maybe I was thinking about getting bass so I can get back into doing that a little bit. And then when I want to like do like covers and stuff, or like put music together, I can lay down the bass track as well. Bass and guitar are very similar. And like learning them, like the first like 20% of learning guitar and bass, I believe is very similar. But then when you start getting into the more, like if you want to play chords on a guitar, is very different than the different types of techniques you would use on a bass for, like slapping or, finger picking and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know, maybe ukulele, who knows? Your channel has come a long way in a short time. It's incredibly hard to start a channel, talking into a camera confidently, etc. You have a lot of talent in doing this. Please keep it up. Thank you very much. That's so kind. Baja Juicy. That's an awesome, man, that makes my heart sing. Thank you very much. That's very kind. That's very, very sweet. Thank you, Sata, Drew. Thank you very much. Going from 75 production to 105% is like Elon level achievement. I took a process from 45 minutes to about 5. And it's such a good feeling. Only thing, no time for back padding. Yeah, it's 75 to 105% improvements at Tesla are not that rare. That's why it's Tesla. I think that's why they're so great at what they do, is because there's so many people that can do that. But I appreciate that. And going from 45 minutes to 5 minutes is that's great. That's a big time saver. So good job with that, man. I think it's because of his personality and past experience. That's a great combo. Thank you. That's very sweet. I like to talk. I think that's my problem. Yo from British Columbia. Hello. Thank you for joining. I'm sort of new in investing. What can you tell me to keep high conviction in any company, regardless of any FUD? I'm definitely not an investment, like an investing channel. I'm more of like, I do invest in stuff, but, I don't want you to sort of take my advice on anything investing, to be completely honest, because I'm not an expert. But the only way to build conviction, in my opinion, is to do a lot of research and find things about the company that are counter to what everyone else is seeing. And the counter thing you've seen, you have to have very high confidence that it's actually correct. And if you're actually correct in it, then it could mean a lot of returns, right? So it's doing your own research. It's really just doing your own research and just being confident in that research and being comfortable with your research. If there's any advice that I can give from my end, but again, I'm not a financial expert and an investing expert. So yeah. With Tesla Robotaxi, do you think humans still need to own a car? Jacques Fresco, futurist project Venera, thought that machines should work 24/7. I think owning a car is still going to be like a personal thing. I do think that it's going to be similar to, I think Elon said this before, like people own horses. Still a lot of horses in the world, and people like riding horses. I'm sure people will still love driving a car. I love driving cars. I really do. There's a track down here in Austin called Circuit of the Americas, and I've been dying to take my car down there on the track just to drive it around. So I still think there's going to be, it's going to be a small percentage. It's going to be maybe like 5-10% of the population, maybe even that, maybe even less, to be honest. But there will be some that will definitely still want to drive their cars. But they might be in very like specific situations, right? Maybe like take it to the track or something. Aside from Tesla, what is your all-time favorite car, either owned or desired? Ooh, yes. The Ferrari 458 has a very special place in my heart because when I worked at the company before Tesla, I'm friends with the CEO of the company to this day. and he has a couple of Ferrari 458s, and he let me sit in one. And yeah, that was freaking awesome. I didn't drive it. I didn't want to even ask because I'm like scared because I don't want to freaking crash the thing. But that has a special place in my heart. Pagani Huayra, which I don't know if you guys have seen, but it's a gorgeous, gorgeous car. I really love the Pagani Huayra. I've never owned those two cars, and I can't own those two cars because that's too much. But as far as ones I've owned outside of Tesla, I had a Saab 9.3, which I really, really liked. Saabs are awesome cars. They break all the time, but they're awesome cars. And the car I had before my Tesla, my first Tesla, my first Model S, was a Mazda 6, which I really liked as well. It was stick. And yeah, great car. I was very happy with it. It wasn't fast or nothing, but it was just I just love the dynamics of a 4-door sedan that drove like that. It was really, really cool. Yeah. I love cars. I do love cars very much. Any boring company activity in Austin? None that I've seen. It'd be cool if they start freaking digging holes under Austin so people can get around a little bit easier. Do you think Tesla can keep racism and sexism cases away by background checking every employees and managers during hiring process? Yeah, I mean, I believe they do already. I'm pretty sure everybody gets background checked at Tesla. From if I remember correct, I mean that's a very standard practice for most, if not all, employers especially large employers in the U.S. But stuff like that usually doesn't show up, because it's like it's so hard. It's such a stupid situation, with that stuff. If it does become an issue at a company, I don't know if a background check and an interview is enough to catch some of these things sometimes, because it's like also dependent on who's interviewing those people, right? Yeah, like people that are racist or sexist don't come out and say they're sexist or racist, right? So yeah, I don't know. I think that's just something that as a population we're going to have to learn how to continue towards creating an environment where stuff like that is not okay. Like it's totally unacceptable, right? So, yeah, it's a continued struggle for society, unfortunately. What's with the hexagons? Yeah, those are sound deadening hexagons, and I put some of them in the background because I thought it looked cool. And it's on this side anyway, and then behind the screens, which you can't see, the entire wall is hexagons. So that's my attempt to remove crazy reverb in the room. Dasa Shama Dar Nakunam? Oh, Dar Nakunam. Dasa Shama Dar Nakunam. Yeah, so what that means, oh man, here we go. So that's in Farsi. My parents are both Persian, and my Farsi is very bad, but Dasa Shama Dar Nakunam, Dar Nakune, basically, which is like the direct sentence, I guess. It basically means like, the direct translation is, I hope your hands didn't hurt. But it really means like, thank you, like I appreciate your effort. Like, I hope the effort wasn't too great for what you did, like say, like when you cook a meal or something, you say, Dasa Shama Dar Nakunam, for example, and then people are like, oh, it basically mean thank you for the effort that you put in. I hope your hands don't hurt from all the labor that you did. So, but my Farsi isn't good, and I'm not gonna. If I can read it, I'll kind of translate it and try to say it. But yeah, look at that, pulling out Farsi on the live stream. Jeez, my goodness. Dig into the FUD if it can convince you when you get to know about more of the details. Yeah, so that's advice for the previous person. I love the rapid iteration philosophy. Try to be less wrong all the time. Is Tesla focused on bottom line or max efficiency, and bottom line happens? Yeah. So I guess the question is, will the max efficiency eventually lead to bottom line? Yes, absolutely. Right. So that's how Tesla works. If you focus on the right things and you focus on making sure the efficiency is great, then you're going to end up with really good results. If you're very efficient everywhere in the company, you're going to make a ton of money. So focus on getting everything efficient, because that leads to really good money. Yeah, I agree with that. How do I get hair like yours? um, is my hair that nice? Thank you. I don't know. You just grow it out and you hope for decent genes and you buy some wax and you stick it in the hair and then you get a haircut once in a while. I don't know. Are you a minimalist or stoic in nature? I'm definitely not stoic in nature. I'm very emotional, to be completely honest. I get really passionate about stuff. Really passionate. And that's one thing I've really tried to work on is to try to be more stoic, more like even. And minimalist, I do enjoy being minimal for sure. I also enjoy I enjoy things. You know, I enjoy gadgets. I enjoy, you know, beautiful things that I like to look at. I love beautiful cars. You know, my wife and I only own one car right now. But yeah, I don't know if I'm minimalist by nature. I definitely I think I can benefit from doing a little bit more of that for sure in my life. I definitely, no, we don't have a house full of crap either, you know, but we're not as like minimalist as some folks where they have the absolute bare minimum in their lives. We have what we need, and we have some things that we want. And usually when the things that we want we don't want anymore, then we give it to somebody that wants it, right? So that's how we approach it. No, I haven't watched it yet, but I have heard some folks talk about it, the FSD thing. Do you think a good clue for when FSD will become full self-driving will be when Tesla starts installing automated charging stations? No, I think it will be when the YouTube, so the folks that are doing all the YouTube stuff, it becomes clear that they're not intervening anymore. That's going to be the best clue. I don't think they're going to be investing too much into that first. I think they may just hire somebody to plug cars in, or you know, like they're probably not going to remove people from cars for at least a couple years, even though they might have the tech, because the regulatory approval is going to be pretty intense. But yeah, I think people will still be in the cars for a while, even though the car might be able to drive itself. So I think the YouTube videos will be a better clue. Is the G string your favorite guitar string? Haha. The E string, bro. The low E. The low E all day. Is Stephen Mark Ryan correct in going all in on Tesla? I love his videos, but it is a risk. By the way, I'm all in too. I'm not somebody to say who's correct or incorrect when it comes to their investing thesis, right? I'm assuming that person did the right research, and if it's working for them, then great. Hello there. Hello, hello. Hello from Memphis. Hello, Nokia. Thoughts on safety perception on what you expect to happen with the evolution of full self-driving? One deadly accident, and it'll be plastered everywhere without statistical context. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely 100% going to happen. So what Tesla needs to do is to ensure that they have that the software is at a point that is either trending to or already at much safer than a human. You know, I think once it happens, the stock's going to take a hit for sure, short term. But Tesla takes safety very, very seriously. They really do. So I'm not expecting it to be a huge long-term implication unless it is a trend and it does become something that's completely against what Tesla is always focusing on, which is safety. So yeah, I'm not necessarily worried about it. The day will come, but I'm not worried about it because usually when Tesla's faced with things, they overcome. Hello from El Salvador. Hello, welcome. I don't think I've ever had anybody from El Salvador on the stream before. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining. Do you think Tesla will install a screen behind the wheel once if other automakers are mass-produced? I get the feeling Cybertruck is being delayed to outperform Rivian and F-150. I don't think so. I think the one-screen look is something they'll go for a long time. I mean, why would you need a screen behind the wheel if... I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Why not just turn the windshield into the TV at that point? Right? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. I actually, I don't know. I got to think about that. I don't want to give like a half-ass answer. I got to think about that a little bit more. They could. Top score, 156 minutes on Speed Cube. Nice. That's still pretty fast, man. That's still pretty damn fast. EVs were heavily advertised during the Super Bowl. Do you think they wasted their time and money? No, because the legacy automakers need to show the public that they are working on something that the people want. But it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't, because the money they spent doing those is going to end up helping Tesla anyway. So yeah, it's like they can't not do it. And if they do it, it's not really going to help them too much anyway, because Tesla's going to end up getting the lion's share of that, of those eyes going online and researching. So it's a crappy situation to be in. I'm actually going to talk about this a little bit in one of my videos, either this week or next week, about that dynamic that the legacy auto is in right now, where they're in a very hard spot, very, very hard spot. And it's like almost impossible to dig yourself out of that situation, to be completely honest. Cybertruck is now getting quad motor like Rivian, and leaked pics show an outline, if possible, screen behind the wheel. Okay. Yeah, I'd be curious to see it in person. Will Tesla become a renewable energy utility? I think they already are technically in some areas, right? I know Australia they are in some ways. So yeah, for sure. I mean, if they're going to dominate the battery market, they for sure will. Would you be prepared to go all in on Tesla stock like Stephen Mark Ryan? My wife won't let me. Yeah, I don't think so. Great investment, but I still believe that there should be some level of diversification, you know, even if it's like 80% Tesla, 20% something else. But, you know, I'm not gonna hate on anybody that does go all in, because if it's working for them, then great. But, you know, different people have different risk profiles. So Yashu had hit that bid. Yeah, Yashu's great. I've started watching him very recently. I really like him. I'll take that into account. Thank you. Do you believe in intelligent life outside of Earth and or higher being creator? I definitely think there is intelligent life outside of Earth somewhere. Higher being and creator, I'm agnostic, but I am warming up to the thought of like some sort of power. I don't even know what kind of power that is. That's sort of governing the universe, and I don't know if that's just physics, you know, but I don't know. The time that I have now is helping me sort of dig in a little bit deeper and see what that means. So I don't know about that yet. But the life is weird. Life's weird. Life's pretty weird. So who knows? I mean, simulation's a very possible theory too. You never know. Does Tesla use traditional OEM supply chain, or does it develop new players for the industry? A little bit of both. I can't go into too much detail, but a little bit of both. Have you experienced anything negative since becoming a YouTuber? Ooh. Yeah, right? Sometimes, very early on, I was extremely critical about my videos, to the point where I almost didn't post them because I was afraid of negative backlash for whatever reason, you know? And that took a toll on me sometimes, because I would sit down and try to make content, and then I would like become so worried about it becoming good that I wouldn't allow myself to be myself in a way. But that's a lesson for me to just trust myself, right? Like, even if it's not great content that others may not enjoy, if I'm happy with what I'm doing, then that's all I can ask for, right? And if folks enjoy who I am as a person and what I'm doing, then that's even better. So it's like the risk reward there is just be yourself. And if people don't like you, then at least you're being yourself. And if people do like you, then that's even better, right? So, and sometimes people will leave like a stupid ass comment, and I'm like, what the, like, what? Like, why? Like, you know, it's weird. People don't really behave like, people behave very differently online than they would in person. But those don't really get to me. I mean, a couple of comments, I like, they would get to me for like 5 minutes and be like, okay, this is like silly. And now when I see them, I just laugh. You know, it's like one of those things. I'm like, okay, great. I recommend the Dominican Republic for a trip. We've actually been there. We went to DR for our honeymoon, and it was freaking spectacular. Thank you for that recommendation. We're definitely going to go back at some point. How do you think the Cybertruck would disrupt the pickup and general car market? Great question. I actually have a chat with Todd Stone, who is a who is like he's very big into truck culture, and it was an awesome conversation. So I highly recommend checking that out. He's much more of an expert than I am. It's a conversation with Todd Stone, or I forget what I titled it exactly, but it's right on my channel. I would highly recommend. Or just type "Fires of Misbahi Cybertruck," it should come up in YouTube. Yeah, R&D is far more important for sure. 11:45 here, worth staying up for. Peace. Thanks, T. You're a very dedicated follower, man. I really appreciate you. Telling everyone in the UK about your channel. How would you like to be described? Oh, thank you, Chinwart. I don't know. I'm just a guy who worked at Tesla, who has some insight into the company, who's really enjoying this YouTube thing. And my goal is to try and bring you all my knowledge, everything that I have, either about Tesla specifically or things that I learned that have helped me. Yeah, and I just, I really appreciate my viewers and everybody who's following my journey through YouTube. So a dude who used to work at Tesla who likes to talk, I guess, is probably the best thing. But I really appreciate that. Thank you, man. I'm going to take a sip of water here real quick, guys. I just, it's been an hour and 50 minutes already. What the hell? How does time go so fast? I've been talking for an hour and 50 minutes straight and I didn't even notice. I have a problem. How do you seem to always make great moves? Buying real estate in Austin early, being an early investor in Tesla, would you say was because of luck? How did you make these decisions? Yeah, great question. And I appreciate that comment. And there's other decisions we've made too, like starting an escape room business right before it took off, and then ending the business right before the COVID pandemic as well, which was like, our timing has been insane with a lot of things. Some of it is definitely luck for sure. Like stumbling into Tesla, half of it was my researching style of like just trying to like go through as much information as possible and trying to find forums that had a lot of dedicated users that were very detailed in their research. So that helped me discover Tesla. So part of it was luck and part of it was research. Real estate in Austin, I don't think I bought it early, but I definitely bought it at a time before it exploded. It was already on an uptrend and then it exploded. I made the decision before that said, hey, I think, Tesla building a factory in Austin is going to be a game changer for that area, because of how many jobs it's going to bring, all the different suppliers that are going to be supplying that facility, and sort of that cachet of, Tesla, potentially the biggest company in the world, being headquartered in Austin is a big deal. And so I use that as my decision to buy real estate in Austin. Yeah, I think some of it is luck, some of it is research, and some of it is conviction too. Like, you just got to take risks sometimes, Yeah, that would be really sort of how we made those decisions. And yeah, just have conviction in what you want to do. Do all the research you can to try and back up that conviction. Metallica Fade to Black, yeah, great song. Maybe I'll play a little bit later of that. Do you see the news that Tesla files for cathode plant at Gigafactory, Texas for battery production? Huge news for profitability. Reducing cost of logistics being next to the existing Gigafactory. Yeah. I didn't see the news. Thank you, Diggs. Oh, he has a green thing. Thank you for joining and supporting the channel, Diggs. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I didn't see the news, but if that's the case, I'm not surprised. They have 3,100 acres. I mean, they can freaking build a lot of crap there. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if they do that. Have you seen the Cybertruck? I haven't. Not in person yet, but I would love to at some point. One of these days, I'm hoping I'm driving around. I'm like, oh my God, Cybertruck. Whoa. If not off limits, what do you think of Elon's recent political tweets, such as support for the Canadian truckers? Yeah, I mean, I think people are allowed to have their own opinions. Elon's a person, and we live in a country with free speech, and he's allowed to say whatever he wants, as long as it's not obviously something that's incredibly harmful, right? So, and I don't think that's harmful at all. It's just support for something he believes in. So, I have no problem with that. Helion is in Cedar Park. Yeah, I believe I heard of him actually. Austin suburb, makes electric hybrid semi trucks. Any insights on them? I don't. I have any insights, but I have heard of them being there. By the way, Cedar Park has this restaurant called La Joie. or La Joie. It's French. I can't speak French. Freaking great. It's so good. Really good oysters. If you guys are ever in the region, La Joie in Cedar Park. Banging. Would you prefer dividends, stock buybacks, and or huge cash reserves if Tesla just happens to generate too much cash in the next 2 to 5 years? Yeah. I don't know if Tesla's going to be in a situation to do any of those three things, because I think the plans they have to expand the company are going to eat into a lot of that cash. And they'll probably want to build up a pretty big cash reserve anyway, probably like 50 to 100 billion, if I were to guess. Yeah. But I think once you get to that point, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't have a huge preference. Maybe dividends, honestly, in my opinion. But I'm open for whatever. If you present Tesla and you're a guitar player, is GM the drummer? Oh man. Oh, how can I make this the funniest possible answer? If you represent Tesla and you're a guitar player, is GM the drummer? So I would say Tesla is the drumstick and GM is the snare, and it's just getting beat. Oh, it's so stupid. I don't know. I wouldn't even put GM in the band, to be honest. I would do like Tesla as the guitar player, maybe even the lead singer. So maybe Tesla's like the rhythm guitar player and the lead singer. I would put, let's say, Rivian as the bassist. Maybe BYD as a drummer, and I don't know. And maybe Rivian as a lead guitarist, BYD as a drummer, and I'll put Porsche as the bass player. You know, I think or like Volkswagen. I think Volkswagen has potential, man. It's just if they allow Dees to do what he needs to do, I think they will do good. But again, bureaucracy really freaking eats into that company so much. But who knows? I think Volkswagen will do well, if as long as he's there. How many Teslas do you own? We only have one. We have a Model Y Performance. We did have 2 Model S's at one point, and that was stupid because we barely drove both of them at the same time. But yeah. Right now, just one. Have you ever been to the UK? No, but I would love to visit. I was just at Heathrow for a layover when we traveled to Ireland. But I've never been outside of the airport. I hear great things. I would love to visit London and other parts of the UK as well. Need a tele for some. Oh yeah, like a Telecaster. Yeah, not a huge country guy, and I know I live in Texas, and sometimes people are like, "What the hell?" But I was actually thinking about getting a Strat. I do like how Strats play a little bit better than a tele, but yeah. Investing is simple. Just put all your money in Tesla and then go to sleep for 10 years. Not investment advice, right, Tom? Forgot to put that at the end, bro. Come on. Could Tesla cause issues with people losing jobs because of AI replacement? Yeah. So I actually did an entire video about this on my channel, which I highly recommend you go check out if you haven't already. I think this is one of the biggest risks by far that very few people are talking about. The advent of AI and the displacement of jobs. I think that's a huge deal. I don't know if the economy is ready to absorb it, to be completely honest. I don't know if we're having enough conversations to really deal with it properly. I think a lot of people are going to lose a lot of jobs. And but at the same time, you don't want to slow down progress either. So it's going to be a weird balancing act for those folks. Yeah, it's going to be weird. Are you a fan of animals as leaders? I haven't listened to a lot of their stuff, to be honest. Aren't they a little bit more prog metal? They're kind of like Between the Bird and Me, kind of, which I really enjoy them. They're like crazy proggy, weird stuff, but really awesome. Yeah, I gotta listen to them. I think, what was the other one? Ocean's 8 Alaska is another one that I heard is great. I gotta look into those. Oh, Haken is another one that's a newer band, or not a newer band, maybe. I don't care, but Haken is another one I want to look into a little bit more. I like a couple of their songs. Yeah. Watch your interview with Stephen Mark Ryan. Epic. Thank you. Yeah, that was an awesome conversation. Steven's great. A yellow 458 Italia just sold on a BAT auction site. It was gorgeous. Excellent choice. Yeah, dude. Yellow on Ferraris is underrated. Like a yellow Ferrari with like black, like like black calipers, or even like red calipers. I would probably put black calipers on a yellow Ferrari. Yeah. Super hot. Do you think that FSC can compete with the airline industry if the government removes the speed limits on the interstate? Oh man, no. You still wouldn't be able to go. I mean, what planes go like what 500 miles per hour in the sky, relative like ground speed. Like a car, I wouldn't trust myself in a car going any faster than like 120 miles an hour. To be honest, I really don't think so. I really don't think so. Unless you get the car to be like a no way. I don't think so. I don't think that's gonna happen. Any news out of Austin? First Model Y is out yet? Jeff Roberts, I believe he has a drone channel, and I think there was some. He has some footage of Model Ys on a trailer, and the other person, Jeff Tegmeyer, I think his name is. I think his first name is Jeff. A lot of pictures of the Model Y body castings inside the factory, so it's imminent. It seems like they're close. Who is a financial expert anyway? Nobody can predict the future. It's about having conviction in data, metrics, observations, finances. Yeah, I mean, that's financial experts will disagree with you with that statement. Financial experts. I think there is something to say about people that are experts in finance and investing. You know, I just know for a fact that I haven't done the schooling and research that a lot of those folks have done. So I struggle to call myself a expert, but yeah. Most guys your age are either into cars or history. Which are you? Ooh. Are they? I know few people that are into cars as much as I am in my age group. Interesting. I'm getting a lot more into history lately for sure. I do like cars a lot more, but I'm really starting to appreciate history quite a bit more. There's this channel called Oversimplified on YouTube, which I love watching their videos. They're like animated, but they talk about like a bunch of like different things that happen in the US and globally as well. And I learned more watching that YouTube channel than I ever did in history class in high school or college. So the internet is a wonderful thing. Thank you for explaining my question. You're welcome. You're welcome. Hello. What's the most important factor Elon is doing to help humanity? I mean, I think really what he's doing right now, which is advancing the really the advent of sustainable transport, is huge. I think the bot could potentially get us in a situation where labor is so plentiful and things are so cheap to manufacture that the bottom end of society will rise up dramatically as long as that technology is not hoarded by the very rich. So it's like super high risk, super high reward. But if it seems like that is going towards the right place, then I think that could be his biggest thing, is that AI and bot. But I don't know. Who knows if that's actually going to happen. Since you were born in Spain, ¿hablas español? Sí, yo puedo hablar español. Yo nací en España. Haha. It's very rusty though, so I'm not going to spend too much time speaking too much. I mean, really, I should be spending a lot more time speaking Spanish if that's the case. A lot more practice. Any thoughts on how using AI or feedback loop from something like Neuralink could augment learning? Yeah, right. I think what's interesting about that is like, yeah, because it's like you're almost like in your brain, like repeating this stuff. Like you don't actually have to do it in a book. You just like, or like reading or doing an action or something. Maybe if you're learning something that requires hand-eye coordination, you probably still need to do that because you need to sort of have your sort of limbs talk with your brain. But yeah, I think that's a great long-term thing, potential for Neuralink. What does your wife think about you doing YouTube? She's super supportive. She's so supportive. She's been really helping me with like ideas and the design of the studio and stuff. She's great. She's the best. She's been super, super supportive, and I love her very much. Anti-capitalists are the biggest threat to Tesla, having infiltrated and positioned themselves in prominent regulatory positions. Are they sabotaging progress due to their Elon hate? I mean, I think there's definitely folks in the U.S. government that don't like Elon because of his wealth and because of his stance on capitalism, for sure. And I think the way the government's set up does encourage all sides to have an opinion. So I don't know if it's sabotaging. I might just describe it as Yeah, just sharing their opinion. I don't know if it's maybe, who knows, maybe they are sabotaging, but I do think I like to keep a little bit more of a even keel when it comes to that. But I wouldn't be surprised if it does get that crazy sometimes, you know. HF, thank you HF for supporting the channel, man. You've been around for a while too. What is your take on psychedelics for expanding the way of looking at life? Elon and SMR have both covered this as parts of their lives. Yeah, I'm open to it. I'm open to some psilocybin mushrooms at some point in my life. Really enjoy your FSD demo video. Hope you will do more of those as the software advances. I will absolutely be doing a lot more FSD videos. I really enjoy doing that. More to come. So as they release updates, I'll make sure to do like a similar route or the same route, and we'll continue to check progress on that. And so what I did with those is I try to be super balanced, right? I don't just want to like fanboy on the software and the fact that it's 1,000 times better than anyone else's, really, or just how profound the technology is. I'm more focused on I worked at Tesla. I know how Tesla they receive feedback, and I know what they look for to try and fix things. And I'm also looking at it from the aspect of mass adoption. So where does it need to be from that standpoint? So all my feedback and analysis will be 100% centered around that. And so sometimes I may come across as I'm very nitpicky, but I'm just viewing it from the standpoint of it just needs to get better, right? So, this thing flashing? I thought the light was flashing. I think it's just my eyes just doing weird stuff. Do you know if Tesla plans to expand in other states? Interesting about Wisconsin. I mean, I'm sure as Tesla continues to grow, they're going to be a lot more in a lot more places for sure. I don't know if Wisconsin's going to be in a specific location, but they're definitely going to be in a lot of different places over time. How fresh are your guitar strings? I need to change them. Usually I'm super like slow about changing strings, and the biggest pain in the ass is that my newest guitar, so this guy right here, that guy, the Jackson, it's a Floyd Rose bridge, which it's a floating bridge, and changing the strings out on that guitar is a pain in the ass. I hate it. So like they're way older than they should be. But they're still on there, and they still sound okay. So I want to keep playing them. But they don't feel fresh, right? I don't know if anyone else plays guitar here, but like you can tell when there's a string that doesn't feel fresh, man. It just feels like stale. I can't describe it. It's just I don't like it. But we try to make it happen. Yeah. So this one's a Jackson. This guy's a Jackson. This one's an ESP, right? LTD. Sorry. I bought this one. I bought the Explorer shape, the wood guy right here. I bought that in college. I paid. I had a Schecter before this one, and then this one I bought in college because I liked the shape. The Schecter actually played better, but I wanted to look like James Hetfield. That's why I bought this one from Metallica. So I paid $450 for this one, and it's about like 14 years old now, and it still plays pretty decent. And then this guy, the Jackson, I just bought when we moved to Texas. And I really like the way that plays, but again, it's a floating bridge. And I'm not a soloist, like I'm not a great lead guitarist. I'm mostly rhythm. And I bought it because I wanted to learn how to do more lead guitar stuff. And usually when you have a Floyd Rose, your stuff keeps a much better tune, and your whammy bar is much better at you get both like your notes go down and your notes go up because of that floating bridge. But I'll give you a demonstration here soon on what that is. Do you know what it's like to work for Tesla in sales and service? I love Tesla. I know a lot about the company. Just curious if you know anything about it. Yeah, I was in service distribution, and it's just as innovative as anywhere else in the company, to be completely honest. I wasn't in sales though, but service is definitely very, very fast pace. Very fast pace. Hey, David, welcome. Hey, Faisal, do you think Starlink will IPO? I heard that Elon will reward Tesla shareholders with first dibs on the IPO price. I do think at some point it will. And I think Shotwell, the SpaceX president, has talked about IPOing Starlink at some point. And if Tesla employees get first dibs, that would be freaking awesome. I really hope they do. And yeah, I think it will happen at some point. That's one of the weird parts of life, time. Yeah, right? Time is so weird. Do people pull pranks at Tesla, or is it more straight-laced? Yeah, dude, oh my God. I was such a troll. Yeah, dude, you meet some of the coolest people ever. You'll definitely have straight-laced people that just want to work the 100-hour weeks. But sometimes, man, you got to like, not everybody can do that, right? Like, I'm a person that needs a little bit of like engagement, and we need to like keep it a little loose sometimes. So, yeah, they definitely do. And I was one of the worst. How many Tesla shares do you own? More or less than 500 shares? Yeah, I'm not going to disclose that, unfortunately. Sorry. How do you keep positive with so much hate against Tesla? I mean, today I keep positive because the hate against Tesla during like 2017, 2018, 2019 was so much worse than it was now. And I was working at the company at the time, and that was freaking bad. And we survived that. So it's very easy to keep positive after you've gone through that time, you know? So, yeah. Oh, my background light just went off. You guys see that? Oh, I guess it only lasts for an hour and a half. Okay. Maybe that's a sign that we should be wrapping up soon. That was weird. But yeah, it just happened a lot already in the past, and right now it seems to pale in comparison to how it was. I mean, people were literally trying to freaking bankrupt the company before. So, yeah. GM is a cowbell. I don't know, man. Cowbells are cool. You know, I think that should be reserved for like a cool company. Unless Mary Barra herself is playing it, then that's a different story, because she led. What probability do you estimate that FSD will be solved by Tesla? What probability do you estimate that FSD will be solved? Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. No doubt in my mind. Do you ever watch the bass YouTuber, Davey 504? Yeah, Davey 504 is legit. Yeah, he's a super good bassist. His style of YouTube is kind of like interesting, you know, and I do appreciate it, but he's a legitimately great bassist. Anything Pantera, of course, Corrosion of Conformity, Black Label Society, Godsmack. Okay. I think I know how to play Walk. Maybe I'll do that. Tesla's the next Tesla. Agreed. People say, oh, the stream engine didn't eliminate jobs. It just created different ones. But AI is the beginning of vertical progress. It'll replace jobs so quickly it crash the economy. That's one of the potentials of AI from a negative perspective, right? And that's what the video I did on that, that's kind of what it spoke about. So I agree. I think that's a huge risk, and we have to deal with it. You led, Mary. She did. She definitely did. I love cars too, Larry. What do you recommend following that has knowledgeable information about FSD progress? So Dave Lee's interviews with James Duma or Dama, I keep mispronouncing his last name. Super good. Great, super intelligent guy, very, very knowledgeable. I highly recommend following those. And then obviously just keeping tabs on all the different FSD videos that come out to kind of track the progress over time and see what it looks like. I think that's another great way of checking up on progress. Have you heard of DeLorean coming back in his electric car? No, I haven't, but that would be dope. That'd be cool. 1,000 mistakes. Thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate that very much for the super chat. Thank you very much. Guitar solo. You will not see me soloing. I can guarantee you that. Why doesn't Tesla sell the collected daily data, such as who is wearing what, what's the most foot traffic, how many bicycles are on the road, where are the potholes? The list is endless. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is that something that they're going to do? You know, could that be against like I don't know, there might be some privacy concerns around that. I think the pothole data they definitely have, and I'm sure they're already working on sharing that with the government for sure. And maybe the number of bicycles as well. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? That's a great question. That's a great question. There are certain things that will be super helpful, right, to know about. And I feel like they may have already done that in the background, but that's a great question. Definitely something that they have the ability to do, and it's probably in their best interest to share that information. Trousers or pants? Pants all day. Pants all day. Seven Dust or Trivium fam? I like Trivium. I like Trivium. I used to listen to them a lot more earlier on, and yeah, what was that one song? They made a meme out of it. It has like a long name, but it was like a YouTube that they like mixed up all the lyrics, and it's like, you know, like a lib, like a thing that they did, like an ad lib thing. It was hilarious. That's what got me into Trivium, was that video. Like the guy would say like a word, and it's like like it's really, it sounds like potatoes, but it's not potatoes because it's like screaming it and growling it. About FSC competing with the airline industry, at 120 miles an hour, you can go 1,000 miles in 8 hours and then just schedule a trip during your sleep schedule, order of magnitude cheaper. I mean, that's a great point. That's a great point. But if you're trying to go 4,000 miles, right? Or you're trying to go, 3,000 miles, that's still going to be long. And, I still think that, if people are trying to get somewhere quickly, the airline's going to be much better solution. But if you don't have to get there that quickly, maybe the FSC can take a percentage of those sales. Who knows? That's a good question. And but I don't know. I don't foresee it making a huge impact. But I could be completely wrong. Okay, love this video, but got to do life. Okay, Bobby, if you play your guitars, will you post the time so I can watch later? Sure, absolutely. I will timestamp it on the thing. Thank you, Bobby, for sticking with me for so long. These freaking live streams go by so fast. Like, I can't believe I've been at it for an hour 40 already. It's like nuts. Once I catch up here with the live stream, I'll on the chat, I'll go ahead and start playing guitar for a few minutes, and then we'll call it at that point. As the world moves to EVs, what do you think will happen to gas stations? Do you think that some will move more into electric chargers? What about Tesla's lead in the charging space? Yeah, I think over time, a lot of these like gas stations, maybe not all of them, but some of them will definitely turn into more like a convenience stop where you can go charge and like hang out, maybe a coffee shop, or like, I don't know if you guys know what Sheetz or Wawa is, but it's basically like a spot where you go, get gas or charge or sort of sit down and just, do whatever. But yeah, it's pretty, I can see that changing over time. I can see that changing over time to that sort of solution. But yeah. If I could invest in anyone other than Tesla, it would be Redwood Materials. Do you know much about them? Yeah, I think that's the company that JB Straubel started, right? Yeah, I think if they ever go public, that would be great. But I don't know too much about them. But if it's somebody that's super, if it's JB, I trust JB's judgment, and so I'm sure that company is going to be excellent. So if you have a chance to invest in it, it's probably not a bad idea. Not investment advice. And I see Dave Lee in the chat. Dave Lee, welcome, sir. Welcome. I'll definitely be playing guitar, Dave. And yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with all of us here, having a good time. And now we're 42 minutes in. Jeez. It's so much fun. I just love talking to everybody here, man. Everybody has such great questions, and it's just, I love having a conversation with so many great peeps, If you had to guess a company that Tesla might buy, what would it be? Who do you think would be the sweetest corporation for Tesla to partner up with? Yeah, I don't know. I think really Tesla's approach, the way they approach acquisitions, is they have to get some sort of like benefit from that acquisition, right? And since Tesla's already so damn good at what they do, like what other companies out there exist that give Tesla an advantage that they can't already do themselves, or they wouldn't be able to build themselves, right? And so in my head, companies that Tesla will purchase are probably obscure in nature because they'll probably have a lead in something. And yeah, I don't know. I think the companies they would purchase, none of us probably know about, or very few of us know about, and they're probably related to like materials and yeah, stuff like that. Maybe some AI expertise. But again, this is just me sort of thinking out loud. I don't know. More cowbell. Everybody wants more cowbell. That SNL skit to this day with Dave Farrell, to this day, legendary. Is this Q&A hard work? It must seem endless for you. I don't know, man. Like I've been at it for like an hour 45, and it just flew by. And I think it's because I freaking love to talk. I can't stop. And it's very stimulating to get questions and sort of sit down and think through them and really talk to these folks. And everybody here, So for me, it's super fun. And if anything, because I'm standing now, my lower back it hurts a little bit, and I haven't been able to stretch it out, but that's okay. It's all right. We'll stretch before bed. We got this. Hi, I'm a South Korean subscriber. Thank you from South Korea. This is crazy, man. This the craziest thing about this YouTube channel is that there's folks listening to me from like all over the world, and like that's so wild. Always appreciate your insight. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate you. I wish I could say your name, but I can't read Korean. But thank you very much. Hello from Ukraine. Hello. Dave, okay, you got to tell us. You do have to tell us. Has Elon reached out to you or Rob about the interview? And it seems like you guys are going to be doing the interview. I would love to hear if you guys have any guidance on that yet. I'm sure you're super excited to do it, but let us know if you can. Haven't heard anything yet. Okay, no problem. Can't wait. I can't wait for that. You guys, you and Rob both deserve that so much. Somebody asked me about it at the beginning of the stream, and people were so excited for it. And you and Rob have both been doing such great work around Tesla. You almost worked for Tesla without getting paid by Tesla, but it's you can tell it's a labor of love from both of you. And I think that interview is more than deserved. And I'm very excited for you guys. I really am. Dave Lee in the house. Semi retrofitted with sleeping cabins, I think, can be a way into the travel industry. Maybe not fully airline industry, but definitely trains. Yeah, that could be. Okay, let's see. Should we play some guitar now? Since we've been at this for a while, I might plug in my guitar here in a couple minutes, and then we'll get it started. Have you ever listened to Tool? I have, but I'm not a huge fan, to be honest. Sorry, Tool fans. I respect the hell out of them, but I don't know. Sober by Tool is one of the best songs ever written, in my opinion. And the one live performance where freaking the lead singer Keenan Michael Key, I think is his name. Is it? I forget his name. He looks like a freaking hospital patient just rolled out of bed, you know, like with ripped up clothes or whatever. Insane performance, but I love Opeth. I love Opeth very much, and who knows? Maybe as my, if my as my sort of musical ear develops over time, maybe I'll start appreciating Tool more. But I do like Opeth quite a bit more than Tool. But I respect the hell out of Tool. They've been around for so long, and they're legendary. So, where do you think Tesla will build their next factories? Yeah, a bunch. I think a lot of the world is going to have Tesla factories built out at some point, but for specifics, I think only Tesla knows that, unfortunately. Okay, all right, I'll do a couple more here, and then we'll play some guitar. I'll play some riffs. I won't do anything too crazy. Maybe I'll kind of show you guys what I know here and there, and I'm probably gonna be a little nervous, but that's okay. We gotta be a little nervous. It's fun. Feel comfortable feeling uncomfortable is what I always tell people. So I should probably follow my own advice. Your thoughts on Tesla using the massive future profits to build out its robotaxi network, and Model 2 will only be for that? On Tesla using the massive future profits to build out its robotaxi network, and Model 2 will... No, I think Tesla's already super profitable, right? So for sure they're going to use that, but I think over time their cash generation is going to be so great that the Model 2 the $25,000 car and the robotaxi network are only going to be like small potatoes in like 10 years. You know, there could be a lot more. There could be a lot more potential in the future from a product's perspective. If you could sing and play guitar, that would be awesome. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't sing very well, so. If I sing, the concurrent viewers will go down from 118 to 1. So I might just stick with guitar, Dave. Yeah. I used to sing for my band, but it was bad. So we're not doing that today. Maybe I'll practice. And get back to my original days. Okay. Let's do some guitar, yeah? All right. So I haven't done this before, and my hands are sweaty. So on live stream, obviously. And I'm going to play it from my amp. So I'm hoping this picks it up. So I'm going to try to put this towards the amp. And so you can still hear me, I think. Let's see. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. Oh my goodness. All right. this on. Okay, it works. I wish I see now. I wished I replaced my strings. Please spend 10 minutes tuning your guitar first. Actually, it should be tuned already. It should be pretty tuned. I tuned it yesterday. These Floyd Rose. Here's what I was talking about for those that are wondering what I was talking about. This guitar. Let's see. Let me see if I can twist this here. This guitar is a Floyd Rose bridge, which means that this mechanism right here can go this way, like in and out of the body. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but the reason why that is, it gives you more flexibility for the sound, but then to change the strings out, it's a pain in the butt. And so I don't change the strings of this guitar as much as I should, but it should still sound okay. Okay, we're plugged in. Let's see. Okay, can you guys hear that? Okay. Where should I stand? I don't even know where to stand. This is so weird. This is so weird. All right, I'm going to play a riff and I'm going to see if you guys can guess it, okay? So I'll do that first one again. Let's see if you guys know what it is, okay? All right, heart. Okay, good. I dropped a hint earlier in the chat, and it seems like you guys already know heart. One of my favorite riffs, like this thing right here, this guy, that's called a pinch harmonic. And so what you do is like you put your finger over the string, right? So if I were to just press it, it sounds like this. But then if you do like, it kind of sounds cool. I don't know. I just really enjoy that sound. Okay, next one. Let's see. There's so many riffs I can pick from. I might do some more obscure ones later on. Okay, we'll do one of my favorite riffs of all time. Diggs got it right. Metallica. Well done. Do you know the song? Does anybody know the song? Master of Puppets. You got it. Well done. Good job. All right. I'm going to try to play... let's see if somebody knows this song. This is a song that we used to listen to a lot in the bars at Penn State. Oh, my compression dampening it. Okay, let me remove that. Let's see. Blue Yeti. Filters. Okay. Let me try something else here. Let's see. Let me know if that sounds better. That was just a blues lick. There's no real song there. I saw somebody say blues, and I saw I play a little bit of blues. Okay. Let's see if you guys know this one. This one might be perhaps only a certain crowd knows this song, but yeah, we'll see. Ready? That one's a little bit more obscure. Can anybody guess that? I'll give you guys a guess. The band, or a clue. The guess. The band is Lit. What's the song name? Yes, Own Worst Enemy. That's right. I think it's actually supposed to be this. I think it's supposed to be like an octave instead of a power. Yeah, it's supposed to be an octave. Okay. Lit. All right, let's do a couple more. The Doom game soundtrack. I don't know anything about the Doom game soundtrack. I know people have talked about it. Yeah, I haven't heard that song in a long time. Basic Travis picking improv on the bass line. I don't know what that is. Do the Tesla bot song. Should we create a song for the bot? Yeah. Well, what would a Tesla bot? It has to be like a frickin'. It's gotta be like super weird and like chaotic. Yeah. All right, Andre NYC. I can see what you're texting, bro, but I don't know what it is. Okay. All right. I'm gonna do maybe a couple more riffs, and then we'll call it a day there, since we're getting to 2 hours here. Let's see if I can. I think for the next stream, I'm gonna sit down and like learn a bunch of riffs that people really are familiar with, and then we'll make this super fun, and then we'll maybe like do some like, I don't know, so just something fun with this. Let's see. Actually, hang on. I'll look something up. Does anybody have any requests? Maybe I can go off of requests too. And I'll try playing some clean stuff too. My go-to riff when I pick up the guitar. Okay. Yeah, this one is yeah, this one is my go-to because I've started playing it very recently. But it's another Metallica riff, so you guys will probably know what it is. Potentially, we'll see. That's something that I've been playing quite a bit lately, and I don't know, it just gets me in the mood to play. So, but anyway, I think we'll end it there. I think we're almost at 2 hours here. Thank you guys very much. This was so fun. My God. I'm going to learn more riffs for you guys on the next one. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. Drop them in the comments. Shoot it to me on DMs and Twitter, or hit me up on Twitter. And yeah, I would love to continue to do this again. Maybe I'll make this into a weekly thing. I really enjoyed this, sitting down with all of you and talking and getting to know you all a little bit better and answering your questions. So thank you guys very much. Thank you for stopping by. We'll see you on the next one, and we'll do it again next week. And maybe we'll learn some Snoop Dogg. Maybe I should wear his outfit from the Super Bowl. Looked like he was wearing a Persian rug, you know? Yeah, so funny. Thank you guys very much. Have a great rest of your evening, night, and we will see you on the next one. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Mwah. Love you guys.